I opened the hospital room door to meet my husband's mistress, and found my husband feeding her like she was his wife. My name is Christine, and I've worn my wedding ring for 32 years. I told myself I was walking into room 314 for answers, one calm conversation, one look in her eyes, and I'd finally understand what she had that I didn't. But the second I stepped inside, my body went cold. Corey, my Corey, sat on the edge of her bed, lifting a plastic spoon to her lips, wiping the corner of her mouth with a tenderness I hadn't felt in months. And on his wrist was the anniversary watch I'd saved for, the one engraved, "Forever yours." He wore my words, while caring for her. My purse slipped from my hands. Keys clattered. The sound hit the floor like a gunshot. Corey turned, spoon frozen mid-air, and in his eyes I watched our marriage die in real time. He tried to speak, couldn't. She stared at me like a frightened kid. Not the villain I'd pictured. That's what shattered me most. She didn't look like a seductress. She looked like a patient. Vulnerable. Young. Someone I might have comforted on a shift, while my husband played hero. I backed out, lungs burning, and ran, past nurses, past flowers, past families who still believed in the stories they were living. In my car, I cried so hard my chest hurt, and then, suddenly, the tears stopped, because one thought landed like a diagnosis I couldn't ignore. This wasn't just an affair. This was a double life. So I did what I'd done for decades as a nurse. When something is bleeding out, you don't panic, you observe, you collect facts, you build a plan. And that day, I realized Corey had been lying so smoothly, he wasn't even afraid of being caught. Which meant he'd done this before in his head, rehearsed a future where I didn't exist. If you were in my situation, what would you do? Want to know what I did next? Tap the related video. Because that's when I turned his perfect secret into the kind of truth he couldn't escape. Follow and subscribe for more stories. Disclaimer. Real story submitted by a viewer. Adapted, and if you've got a story, send it in.